Hi, everyone. This is Keisha Martin. I help people like yourselves, to identify their unique gifts. I am a spiritual teacher and energy healer. I wanted to speak today a little bit about my why and history and how things are, um, so that way we can actually start having a deeper connection. Um, I had so what prompted me to do this video was actually a discussion yesterday. So I'm out. This is all new for me. Before I was a photographer and graphic designer. That was my profession, and I always had a calling of doing something. I just didn't know what this something was, and it wasn't until after the accident I had that actually sat me down and realized I had something else brewing. Now, the spiritual path I've been on for a very long time, since in my early 20s. And before that, I've always had experiences and questions and things. So I started reading, whether it's the Bible, and then studying different cultures and religions, whether it's Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, what all the other isms. I was reading on it to see what is similar, what makes things different, and where's the common thread. And the reason why I started this is when I was going through a downtime, a really low part in my life where I was going through a divorce. I had lost my grandmother. I was not sure how everything was going to happen. Didn't know when I was just starting as like an entrepreneur. I was like self-employed. I was more of a mom and like doing this photography, graphic work thing on the side, like something I just needed to stay. I'm the type of person who has to stay busy, and that was my way. So I learned like web design, Photoshop, InDesign, all this stuff because that was me. I wanted to do something, and I'll talk about how I started that another time. But I always followed my heart, and what happened is somewhere in between, I knew I wanted to do something different. I just didn't know what. Like one day I was leaving a client and I was like, I just feel like all of this stuff is for something bigger. It's like God gave me all of these talents and going through all these different jobs for something bigger, and I just don't know what. Little did I know, like now in hindsight, I look back at a dream I had back in my 20s. It was like really prophetic. I can see why, and it brought me into my spiritual path. Now, how it did that was I started when I was going through that low point. I was going through, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was just functioning. It was like just, I had every morning get up, do what I had to do, and it was productive. But on the inside, there was something missing. It was gone. And I remember one night really clearly where I had just put the two little ones down to bed. Um, Actually, all three of them, but the two little ones, you know how, toddlers are, they're hard to get to sleep. So they finally went down, and I shut the door, and I was like sitting in my bed, like, oh my God, what should I do? I need to sleep, but I have all these things. And I was like beaten down, and I was sad, and I was upset, and I was just staring, sitting there on the bed. And my little boy busts open through the double doors. He must have been like 3 or 4 at the time. He like walks over. He had like this like clear disgust on his face, like he's mad. And he like walks around the side of the bed, climbs up. I had a Bible that would always sit inside the bed. He picked up the Bible and he handed it to me. When he handed it to me, it's shut. And he's like, "Here, read this," and just walks right back out. And I'm like, now, to me, now that sounds weird, but to me, I'm used to these little kids doing that because that's just how they came out. Like a lot of things that they started doing, I'm like, I didn't sign up for all this. I didn't know being a mom was going to be all this. I thought it was like, disciplining and little stuff, not this weird stuff that they were going through. And so he hands me the Bible sitting in front of me, and I'm like, I haven't talked to you in a while. I'm looking at it. I just thought in my head, okay. And as the time looked at the Bible, I heard a verse. And as I heard the verse, I said, okay. I opened it up and I read it. And that started my journey again, because I had put it down for a while. And it got to the point that it got to the point that one morning I woke up and I must have had like 5 or 6 verses. And I'm thinking to myself, I know I've read the Bible, but I really don't know, like I never had to memorize all the chapters. I don't know how many verses are in, or how many chapters are in each book. And so one day I was like, how on earth am I even knowing that they're even in here? How would I know there's like a Luke, whatever? And this one morning when I had 5 or 6 verses, I said, I'm going to go to church this morning. It's time I just head back. So I go back, and lo and behold, Pastor, his ceremony, his sermon was on the same verses. Like every single one of them. Like there wasn't like a missed one. Like I didn't miss one. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He nailed each one of them. He just went from this verse to that verse to that verse, and then he taught about life the same way. And I was like, whoa. And that's what started me to look into other religions and understand other paths, because in my mind I've always believed, and this was since I was a little girl, how can someone that's born in this foreign country that's grown up to know like a Buddha or something else or a Krishna, I didn't even know their names then, but I mean, how are they going to go to hell? Like I just always had questions. And here I am, someone who hasn't picked the book up in a while, and I'm receiving verses that I didn't know was there, and I'm like, well, who's telling me this? How on earth am I knowing this? And this continued my path, and I've learned to trust, and I learned to be obedient, and I've learned to meditate. And I realized that's how I hear and understand what I'm supposed to do, or not necessarily, no one tells me what to do, because if someone's telling you what to do, if you're hearing something in your mind and they're telling you what to do, that's not good. Like no one has you have free will. We all have free will, but you can be nudged, or you can get guidance, and you can get like an opening of something, a suggestion. And like I would just hear a verse, and it was like, Mark 3:4. I'm like, okay, let me open up Mark chapter 3, verse 4 and see what happens. Sometimes it would be just one sentence, and in my overthinking mind would be like, well, what the heck is that supposed to mean? Maybe he gave me the wrong one. And then finally I'm like, oh, maybe I'm just supposed to listen. That's what the real verse meant. So if you're like me, it's like you have to learn how to settle your mind and be still so you can really hear the messages. And it was a journey. It's still a journey, because I'm not like all there, but I've learned why there is a path, and I understand why things were kind of hidden, because we all need to go through certain levels of forgiveness, certain understandings of love, compassion, honesty, patience, and some other things. There's these hard core lessons, and it's only hardcore because of the way our society has made us, but there's these natural born lessons that we need to become true humans. And I'm here to share these things with you from my journey, and I've written it in a book which will be coming up soon, which I was scared to death, I'm not gonna lie. I was scared to death to put that thing together, but it's been on me. I'm supposed to finish this book, and it's called Open, the spiritual journey of one woman, which is myself, moi. And I can't wait, I can wait for you guys to be able to read and maybe share so you can learn your strengths. I am excited now. I'm breaking past a lot of my own fears, but I'm excited because I'm seeing how much people are going through, and I realize that not everything I go through, everybody's going through the same exact time. For me, I kind of always had it in my head, well, everybody knows it. But I'm realizing more and more not everybody does know things. And it's okay, because we all have different paths that we're on. But it doesn't mean that something that I'm going through can't help someone else. So on the real note, I want to help as much as I can. I've always wanted to, I just never knew how it was going to happen. But the point of all this is to trust your journey. You know what I mean? You're not alone in this. The same way there's like a government and a hierarchical team here that tells us what to do. It's the same way there's a hierarchical team around you that's here to help you to do what you want to do. You just have to be able to communicate with them and let them know. And you have to trust in the process and trust the things around you. And it's difficult, especially when you're going through it. Just like the other day, I had a cold and I'm supposed to heal myself, and I'm like, it hurts, and my head is clogged up. It was like so hard, but I mean, eventually, I took something. But I mean, I had to work on my energy too, you know. But the analogy with that is when you're in the middle of something, sometimes it's so hard, you don't see your way out. But if you get some rest, which really helped me, I was able to use that energy that I was able to pull together and connect the way I should and take care of myself. So always trust in the process. Be who you are. And when you're going through the midst of the woods, sometimes the littlest things, like even like your child or maybe a stranger, may walk up to you and give you this one piece of advice that completely changes things around. All right? So that's my message for today. I hope everything's going well for you. If it's not, take some time out. Put your feet in the ground and relax for a little bit. And if you're having crazy negative thoughts, just let them float by. All right? And don't give them attention. And try to think about 2 or 3 things that are really good for you in your life. If you can't, keep breathing. And then maybe admire something that's beautiful around you. All right? That is my message for today. You are gorgeous inside and out. Even if you don't believe it, I'm telling you that you are. And have a beautiful day. Also, feel free to like, comment, or share this video. I'm looking to help as many people as possible. And if you're trying to still find what maybe some of your blocks are, or getting past these humps, I am a coach. So I'll help you one-on-one. We'll be starting some group sessions really, really soon, and that will help you connect with other like minds to help you through your journey. Subscribe to this channel so that way you'll be in the loop, in the know of when things are happening, and that way you won't miss the dates or miss the times, all right? Look forward to having you soon, and stay blessed.